Hello and welcome to Speaking Football. My name is Tommy Hay and I'm joined here in Madrid by my colleague Ruben Palomero for episode number 104 of this series. Thank you to everyone out there for joining us today. Remember, if you're joining us on the radio, welcome. And remember that if you enjoyed listening to Richard Vaughan live over the last hour, you can hear more from Richard after this show on La Hora Extra. So as always, stick around. Now, there are lots of interesting things to talk about on today's programme. In a few minutes, we'll be having a chat about Villarreal's spirited performance against Liverpool on Tuesday. And later, Ruben and I will be challenging each other to see if we can guess some very complicated idiomatic expressions in English and in Spanish. We'll end our show, as always, with our weekly press review, where we'll discuss, among other things, Real Madrid's incredible comeback against Manchester City on Wednesday. We'll also be talking about the latest news regarding Russia's participation in the Women's European Championship. And we'll also be talking about the reason why one English journalist has compared Liverpool's Colombian star Luis Diaz to Sonic the Hedgehog. Very interesting article to talk about there. And lastly, we'll be teaching you the meaning of the expression to be baffled in English. First, though, let's begin the programme, as always, by revealing the identity of last week's mystery player. Okay, Ruben, you can kick us off with clue number one.
Our mystery player only played in England.
He only played in England. Somebody asked me on Twitter, can you say he's a one-country man? No, you can't. You can say a one-club man, but you can't say a one-country man. You just have to say he only played in X country. So he only played in England. Solamente ha jugado en Inglaterra. Very good. Number two, he came through the West Ham youth system. So you would use the verb pertenecer here, to belong, no? To belong. You could say he belongs to the West Ham youth system. Sounds a little bit strange. So we use the phrasal verb to come through. To come through.
Sí, porque aquí yo creo que belong tiene un significado muy de pertenencia, de propiedad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, I don't know, this glass belongs to me, you know, it's my glass, it's my computer, it's my car, whatever. But you wouldn't say that about a person. It sounds a bit strange.
Sí, so la esclavitud ya se abolió, entonces es difícil utilizarla en este contexto.
Exactly, that's it. You know, footballers aren't slaves. You know, they do have to work every Saturday, which isn't great, but they're not slaves. So yeah, I would say he came through, like pasar por is what we would say. He came through the West Ham youth system, cantera. Very good. Number three, Ruben.
He broke the English transfer record twice, singing for Leeds from West Ham and from Leeds to Manchester United. So
very good, exactly. So he signed for Leeds from West Ham and he signed for Man United from Leeds. So he played for those teams. And in doing so, he broke the English transfer record. Récord de traspaso is what you say for transfer record. So he broke the English transfer record twice. I have a question, a Spanish question for you. Can you say récord de fichaje or no? That sounds a bit strange.
Sería algo así como récord de traspaso.
Traspaso, but you can't say fichaje.
Sí, se podría entender también, ¿no? Pero...
You understand it, but it's not the, yeah. In English, we say récord de fichaje. That's why I'm asking you. Literally, we say récord de fichaje, but yeah, récord de traspaso, you would say. So the English transfer record. So he broke it twice, and when he signed for Leeds and when he signed for Man United. Clue number four, he's 1 meter 93 centimeters tall. So he's 1.93 centimeters tall. So a big guy, very big player, much taller than me anyway. I'm 1 meter 80. So he's quite a bit bigger than me. Exactly. Very good. And clue number five, Ruben.
He once tried to start a career in boxing.
Very good. Yes, exactly. He once tried, he made an attempt to start a career in boxing, but it didn't work. He tried to, but it didn't work. So he once tried to start a career in boxing, el boxeo. Who was our mystery player, Ruben?
Our mystery player was Rio Ferdinand.
Very good, Rio Ferdinand. Fantastic legend for West Ham, Leeds, and of course Manchester United, where he won the European Cup and a few leagues as well with Sir Alex Ferguson as the manager. Absolutely incredible career. He's now a pundit, tertuliano. He's now a pundit. On Wednesday night and on Tuesday night, he was commentating on the games. He was in Madrid. He's probably in Madrid at the moment, actually, having a tostada and a coffee in a bar somewhere. But yeah, he's a fantastic pundit as well, and he was a great football player as well. Did we have any winners this week, Ruben?
Of course. Los ganadores han sido, por ejemplo, Daniel Martín Castillo, un clásico que no falla, nos pone un GIF de Río Ferdinand moviendo, asentiendo con la cabeza. CBP, siempre falla. Esfandiari, también lo acertó. Mauro, que dice, Río Ferdinand, I think, me salvaste al decirlo del boxeo. Abel de Dios, Abel sabe mucho. Y Javi Jiménez Kenny, que nos dice, ese mítico 5 le delata, refiriéndose a la foto que aparece en redes sociales.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the photo. Yeah, remember, if you ever want an extra clue about the mystery player after this program, you can always go into our Twitter and you can see a photo of the person with a chapa, with a cover over their face. That's like an extra clue if you go into our Twitter, speak_football_. That's very interesting that one of our listeners said that the clue, the biggest pista, the biggest clue, was that he tried to start a career in boxing, because that was the only one that I didn't know about. I knew about the other ones. I knew that he was a West Ham youth player. I knew that he only played in England. I knew that he was tall, and I knew about the transfer record, but I had no idea about this boxing thing that he tried to do. Very interesting story, isn't it, Ruben?
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I didn't know neither, because I thought it was a popular player, but for Spaniards, it's a player who's never played in Spain, and maybe they are not of them. They didn't know that the signing transfer.
Yeah.
And well, I thought it was a difficult mystery player this weekend.
I think for Spanish people, absolutely. But I think anyone who watches English football, it would be quite easy. But it's the same with me. Sometimes the mystery player is someone who's only played in Spain. And maybe if it's from the 1980s or the 70s or even the 90s, it can be really difficult for me. So I think that's what happened. But Rio Ferdinand in England is absolutely massive, and he's still popular now because he's a pundit, as I said, on BT Sport. So yeah, really interesting. Message from Jose Ramon in Laval du Show. What a challenge. Vaya desafío. What a challenge.
Yeah.
For a Spaniard this time, but don't worry, you threw down the gauntlet. I like that expression. You threw down the challenge. You gave me a challenge, and I picked it up. But it's like kind of like coger el toro por los cuernos, no? You can take the bull by the horns, you can say. Very good. I happen to be quite fond of boxing as well, so I had heard a little bit some years ago about that story. There's a famous sentence by the mystery player that says, "I'm aiming now for a belt." Do you say the cinturón? For boxing, for boxing, yeah. Where I'm aiming now for a belt. So he wanted to achieve a belt. Like it's like saying "Quiero ganar la Champions." Basically, I want to win the the biggest trophy. And another one from the British Boxing Board of Control that said there's a difference between boxing in the gym and real boxing. Now remember that expression, real, like como like de verdad or como Dios manda, you know, or like de profesionales. So there's a difference between boxing in the gym and real boxing. So ultimately, Rio Ferdinand's request, his attempt to become a boxer, was rejected by the British Boxing Board of Control, and he never became a boxer. But he had a good football career, so it doesn't really matter. Jose Ramon says, thanks for an interesting and entertaining program. Jose Ramon, thank you very much. That's very nice. Thank you for listening. Really good. Well, congratulations to everybody who managed to get the correct answer. Wasn't easy at all, so very well done. Now, tonight, at the moment, we're going to move on to our first section of today's program, which is, of course, our football cliché of the day. So we're going to move to, I think we've been all over Europe. We've been in France, we've been in England. Now we're going to go to Castellón, and we're going to talk about what happened on Tuesday night at Villarreal. Now, Villarreal, they made a really big effort, but ultimately it was quite a disappointing night, decepcionante. It was quite a disappointing night for Spanish football in general. Villarreal lost 3-2 to Liverpool at La Cerámica. However, Villarreal's performance was described in an article by Marca in English as a spirited effort. A spirited effort. So spirited, S-P-I-R-I-T-E-D. S-P-I-R-I-T-E-D. And effort like esfuerzo. So literally that would mean what, Rubén? Un esfuerzo.
Bueno, cuando haces un esfuerzo siempre se dice to make an effort, ¿no? Pero en este caso es to make a spirited effort, como un esfuerzo en balde, algo así.
Un esfuerzo vivaz, animoso.
Con mucha energía, entonces. Spirited es como traducido como con mucha energía, ¿no?
That's it. A spirit can be like a soul, like alma, you know, a spirit. But it doesn't mean that. It's not a religious thing. It's talking about un esfuerzo. If I said to you un esfuerzo vivaz, that wouldn't make sense, would it? That doesn't make sense. In Spanish, no tiene sentido, un esfuerzo vivaz. No, very odd. That's what we say in English. If you think about how Villarreal played, would that give you any idea how to understand what this means?
Yo creo que puede ser como un esfuerzo con mucha energía, ¿no? Como que transmitieron mucha energía, que hicieron un esfuerzo con mucha potencia, pero bueno, luego al final, lamentablemente para Villarreal no fue suficiente, pero algo así.
That's it. So they made a spirited effort. It would be like se dejaron la piel.
Sí.
Se dejaron la piel. Yeah,
to work your socks off.
They worked their socks off, exactly. They worked their socks off. So it's another alternative to work your socks off, which also means dejarse la piel. You can say to make a spirited effort. Really, really good. Well done. Good translation. What did you think of Villarreal the other night?
Well, I think Villarreal played against a team that they thought they were at the final. They discovered that in football, if you don't run, you are not going to win anyone. So at the second part of the match, Jurgen Klopp had to shout at them.
Yeah,
in order to
he had to give them the hairdryer treatment. Do you remember that expression?
Yes, exactly.
To give them the hairdryer, to shout at them, basically. Yeah.
The club prepared a beautiful hair dryer treatment, and well, that's the reason why Liverpool played like Liverpool in the second part of the match, and they beat Villarreal.
Very good, exactly. They beat Villarreal. Well done. Yeah, or they won against Villarreal. The title for Marca was Heroic Villarreal overcome by unstoppable Liverpool. So to overcome something is literally superar. We would say. Would you say superar in a football context? Could you say
sí, superar?
Superado. Yeah, exactly. So heroic or whatever. Heroic Villarreal overcome by unstoppable, imparable, unstoppable Liverpool. I like this one. The Reds, so that's Liverpool. The Reds suffered a scare in the first half. To suffer a scare. So to scare is asustar. But what would a scare be? How would you say?
Es como sufrió, pues le dieron un susto, ¿no?
Un susto, exactly.
Un susto,
exactly.
Aparte.
That's it. They suffered a scare in the first half, obviously, because Villarreal were winning 2-0. They were winning 2-0 at the end of the first half. But they were flawless in the second. Now, I like that word a lot, to be flawless. F-L-A-W-L-E-S-S. Any idea what that means, to be flawless?
A ver, siempre que se pone les a una palabra, hay que saber que es de menos, ¿no? Entonces, hay que saber qué significa F-L-A-W.
That's it. Yeah. So flaw, if I said to you a flaw is like, for example, his flaw is that he talks too much. Or his flaw is that he's very selfish.
O sea, que fueron menos egoístas en la segunda parte.
No.
Fueron menos. Yo pensaba que era algo así como que se habían desinflado, ¿no? Como que
no.
Potencia.
No, it's interesting. Well, a flaw is a mistake or a bad point or like a negative thing. It's just a flaw. It can be like un fallo or like un error or whatever. So basically, if you say that something is flawless, it just means it's perfecto. It's perfect. Yeah, to be flawless is another way to say to be perfect. It means you have no problems, you have no mistakes, you have no
Okay.
issues.
Like you told me a flawless explication.
Thank you so much. I think it was a flawless explanation as well. Exactly. So Liverpool were flawless in the second half, and I agree. I think the second half was just perfect for them. They did everything that they had to do, and obviously the change that they made in the second half with Luis Diaz, very, very important. But we're going to talk about that later in the program. Okay, very good. Well, it's once again that time of the week where Ruben and I test each other's skill as language learners with a little game that we call Play on Words. Okay, you were the champion last week, Ruben. You guessed my 2 English expressions, I think, and I guessed 1 or 0. I can't even remember what happened last week, but all I know is, all I know is that I lost. So would you like to start this week by giving me a Spanish expression?
Okay. We are going to start. I have 2 different words. One from Spain and the other one from Chile. What do you prefer to do first?
I'm gonna try and start strong. Start strong. I'm gonna try and have a good start to today. So I think I'd like to start with Spain because Chile is a very difficult country for me. So let's start with Spain.
Okay, but the word in Spain, the Spanish word is arenga.
Arenga.
Yes.
Arenga.
Do you remember the Peruvian player called Arango?
Arango.
No tiene nada que ver, pero.
Thank you for leading me down that path. Fantastic. Yeah. So nothing to do with Arango, but it sounds kind of similar. There's a type of there's a fish called in English. It's a herring. Is it herringe or herring? I can't remember. There's a kind of fish that they eat in Holland. I'm going to have to Google this.
Yes. ¿Hay un pez que se llama así?
It's close. No, it begins with J. Let's see. Herring. I think it's
arenga is a word.
Arenque.
No, arenque is another thing.
Yeah, it's a fish that they eat in the Netherlands.
Un arenque no podría hacer una arenga.
Okay, so there's not something that fish do. There's not something that
no, it's something that fish can do. It's something usually do humans.
Okay, something that humans do.
And
okay.
I very, very popular people, very, very knowledge for his arengas.
Okay, there are people who are famous
not only in football, and football too. For example, talking about the name of the stadium of Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabéu. Santiago Bernabéu was very famous for their arengas.
Very good. No, I would say his arengas because it's singular. Yeah, so I would say he was famous for his arengas. I think we're going to try and translate this in a second. So it's something that you have to that people do. Animals don't do it, and it's something that players. It's not exclusive to players. No, you can do this if you're I could do it, for example.
Yeah, for example, I can tell you Scotland characters famous for their arengas.
Go for it.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be true because we are talking about the film that Braveheart, William Wallace in the film, was very good with this.
Okay, I think I know exactly what it is. Okay, so
it's very easy for you because I told you about William Wallace.
For William Wallace, as soon as you mentioned William Wallace, that confirmed it for me. However, I'm going to try and just to guarantee the answer. So it's something to do with speaking, I believe. No, it's something verbal.
Exactly.
It's not a physical action. So William Wallace liked to kill people with his sword, but it's nothing to do with that. It's not a violent thing.
Not violent.
I think that it's this idea of motivating people, to motivate people or to talk to people in an inspiring way. I think that's what it is.
Exactly. Una arenga, según la RAE, es un discurso pronunciado para enardecer los ánimos de los oyentes. Exactly.
Exactly.
Eso es una arenga. How do you say that in English?
So I would say un discurso. How do you say discurso? Do you know?
Speech.
Speech. Yeah, exactly. Like el discurso del rey. The Colin Farrell movie. So speech, and I would probably say a motivational speech.
A motivational speech.
Yeah, motivational speech. There's another word which is rousing, rousing. Rousing speech. But motivational speech is more common, I would say. So that would be arenga.
And was it different? Or how close are the hair dryer treatment that we were talking at the beginning of the program and an arenga? Could be similar, but they are different matices, no?
Different subtleties, no? Different subtleties. Well, I would say the difference is that you can give a motivational speech in any context. You can be winning, you can be losing, you can be drawing, it can be before a game, it can be after a game. Hairdryer treatment is directly when you've done something bad.
Yeah.
If you're losing, for example, or if you're not playing well, you receive the hairdryer treatment. So it's like una bronca, really. Yeah. It's more of a bronca.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like a telling off is another thing you could say. Telling off. To tell off is echar una bronca, and a telling off is una bronca. But no, a motivational speech is different. Have you ever eaten an arenque, a herring? I have.
Arenque?
Yeah, an arenque.
How do you say arenque?
In English, it's herring.
Herring.
Herring. A herring. Yeah, Herring. I went to Amsterdam a few years ago, and I was saying I need to eat a herring. I really want to eat a herring because it's famous. But they have them in vinegar. So the smell is unbelievable. It's a really strong olor, really strong odor, really strong smell. And we were doing interrailing, and I ate the herring before the train, and nobody wanted to sit next to me on the train. Nobody wanted to talk to me because I smelled terrible when I spoke. So that's my recommendation is have a herring when you go to Amsterdam. But if you have una cita, if you have a date with somebody, don't eat a herring. It's very bad for you. It's not good. We're going to have to take a break in just a second, but I'm going to give you a quick indication of my next word. Okay, my English word for Ruben. My word for Ruben, they're both British.
Yeah.
So the word for Ruben is actually two words, and it's impact sub. Impact sub.
Impact sub. Okay. Impact sub. Es como impacto por abajo.
¿No? Impacto por abajo.
Impacto por abajo.
Interesting. Okay, we're going to have a quick break just now, but I want you to think about impact sub can be. You have about 5 minutes. Join us again after 5 minutes, and we'll be revealing what impact sub means. Stick around. Okay, we are back at Speaking Football. Before the break, we were talking about the Spanish word arenga, which we translated as motivational speech. Motivational speech. And now I've given Ruben a word in English, which is, well, two words actually, which is impact sub. Impact sub. So literally, what would this translate as, Ruben?
A ver, en un primer momento, cuando has dicho lo de impact sub y puede ser impacto sub, estaba pensando en golpear a alguien por debajo de la rodilla, pero creo que voy a necesitar información porque es como... no sé, dame alguna pista, dime una frase. A ver, ¿cómo aplicarías impact sub en una frase?
Okay, so I'll give you an example phrase that's quite general.
O dime qué jugador podría ser alguien que pudiera hacer un impact sub.
I'll give you both, okay? I'll give you both.
Okay.
So first, I'll give you a sentence. He is used as an impact sub. He is used as an impact sub. Or the manager uses him as an impact sub. Okay, so that gives you an idea. It's related to the role, the papel.
It's a role. For
it's not an action. It's not an action.
Tell me a player, please. Tell me a player. That is going to help me.
If I tell you a player, okay, so a good Scottish player that used to, a Spanish player that played in Scotland, Nacho Novo. Do you remember Nacho Novo?
Yeah, he was playing in Mallorca. No, in Sporting. I don't remember.
Sporting de Gijón, exactly. He played in Sporting de Gijón, and he played for Rangers for years. And he played for some other Scottish clubs as well. But he was an impact sub, very famous impact sub. Who else was an impact sub? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was a impact sub for Manchester United.
Mhm.
And if I could give you a massive clue, I could give you a very big
I
clue.
have a question. Do this
Okay.
kind of player used to be in the starting 11?
So is this kind of player usually, normalmente, is this kind of player usually in the starting 11? No. No, he's not.
No. I'm thinking about could be something like a game changer.
You could say it's very similar to Game Changer. But Game Changer is more generic because you can be a game changer even if you start the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not quite the same, but you're on the right direction if you say that this player doesn't normally start the game.
Okay, could be a kind of decision that this player used to be in the starting 11, but you decide not to be in the starting 11 in order to create an impact in the moment that you decide to introduce this player to the match?
I think you're more or less there. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
it's like that. So, for example, just be careful that the player is usually, normalmente, usually in the starting 11. So this player is usually not in the starting 11. He's usually a substitute. But I'm going to give you the point because you're correct. It's a player who starts on the bench, who comes on to win you the game, basically, or to change things. For example, an impact sub last night was Rodrigo. Rodrigo was an impact sub because he came on and he changed the game. And also Luis Diaz the other night was an impact sub. It doesn't matter if they normally start or if they normally don't start. It's just a player that comes on from the bench to make an impact. So yeah, I'll give you the point. That's absolutely fantastic. Well done.
Yeah.
How would you say that in Spanish? Is there a term for a player who, like, alguien que empieza en el banquillo, o suele empezar en el banquillo y luego entra y marca o crea goles?
Vamos a ver, eso era game changer técnicamente, que lo traducíamos como revulsivo. Es un jugador que hace algo así, que sale del banquillo y cambia el partido. Entonces yo creo que game changer sería revulsivo. En este caso, impact sub es un jugador que desde el banquillo marca la diferencia.
Interesting.
Pero es difícil categorizarlo tan fácilmente, ¿no?
It's difficult to find the noun for it. It's difficult to find an actual expression. Yeah, very difficult, but I like that. Yeah, desde el banquillo marca la diferencia. That's it. To be an impact sub. Very good. Excellent. 1-1. And now
1-1.
And now I'm worried because we are going to Chile, I believe.
Yeah,
so give me a Chilean expression.
Chile. And the Chile expression is condoro.
Condoro.
And I have a lot of clues for you.
Okay. Yeah, help me.
Well, realmente, condoro es una forma de decir cóndor.
So the bird.
The bird, yes. Es un animal. Entonces, tengo dos pistas para ti. Un titular de periódico y una estadística de uso de expresiones en Chile. Voy a empezar por la estadística, que es muy divertida.
Vamos a empezar.
En Chile, hay dentro de las expresiones que se utilizan donde hay animales, es la segunda más utilizada. Solo por detrás de por si las moscas, que es la que más se usa. Luego se diría mandarse un condoro.
Mandarse un condoro.
Y luego sería pasarlo chancho, darse un manito de gato, ser pavo, estar pato, echar la yegua, hacer una vaca, ser avispado y estar como piojo.
To be like a flea. To be like a flea. Interesting. So what was the expression with condor again, or condoro?
Es mandarse un condoro.
Mandarse un condoro, exactly. And is that the verb that you use, mandarse, in football? Or...
Ahora te voy a decir la frase. Nos vamos al periódico diario La Cuarta. De Chile. Diario La Cuarta de Chile, que dice el titular: la reflexión de Johnny Herrera tras condoro de Carabalí ante River.
That's good. Okay, one more time.
La reflexión de Johnny Herrera tras condoro de Carabalí ante River.
Okay, so Johnny Herrera's reflection after the condoro against River.
Yeah.
That's not helping me too much. That's really not helping me too much. So it's obviously a thing. It's not like I wouldn't say it's an action.
Sí, es una situación.
The
Es una situación,
Carabalí, yeah.
sí, de Carabalí. Carabalí,
Okay.
pues, puede hacer un condoro, por ejemplo. Es
Okay.
es una acción en el fútbol que sucede. Puedes
Okay.
hacer, que se puede dar.
And it's something that makes you talk. It's something that makes you reflect. Obviously, he's reflecting on this. So is it something that's controversial? Polémico? Is it something that's controversial?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. This happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Condoro. I think if you're thinking of Condoro, but you had this last week, so I'm not sure. Is it the same as last week? Is it like un piscinazo?
Is that your answer?
Yeah, is it a dive?
No, wow. Se lo vimos la semana pasada, que era un clavado mexicano, pero esta vez Condoro es una cantada.
Ah,
Los
okay.
chilenos, cuando el portero canta, se
Mhm.
utiliza Condoro. De hecho, es que según la RAE, Condoro es torpeza grave y vergonzosa.
But that's strange because condors aren't clumsy. They're not
Beautiful.
torpe.
I was in Peru watching them, and they are
Mhm.
absolutely magnificent.
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 Majestic.
Majestic, exactly, majestic. La gente decía, qué majestuosos. Es como
Yeah.
well, the reason is that Condoro we use for saying something lazy when you are going to, it's a howler,
A howler, exactly.
or
Una
then they are
cantada.
Condoro. And use the verb mandarse un condoro o tras condoro, sin verbo. Tras
Okay,
condoro.
so
Dice un
it's a
condoro.
howler
A
in English.
howler.
Howler. It's interesting because howl is aullar, which we connect to wolves, los lobos,
Exacto.
wolves.
Utilizan otro animal que aullando. Y en este caso los chilenos usan el cóndor para referirse a.
I suppose condors, when they make noise, they sing, they cantar, cantada, condor. There's probably a connection there. So that is it's a howler in Chile. That's fantastic. I love that. That's great. And would it be hacer? Sorry, hacer un condoro or
Bueno, de hecho, ellos en la expresión, cuando la saqué de la página de estadística de expresiones, decían mandarse un condoro.
mandarse un condoro. That's fantastic. I love that. I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah,
I'm bored with cantada. I'm going to start using condoro when I speak Spanish. Really, really good. Okay, one more expression for you, Ruben.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a clue here. It's related to another sport. Related to another sport. To tee up. To tee up. Now,
T-double-E.
T-E-E.
T-E-E
Exactly.
up. Okay.
Tee up.
Well, we're going to start about what I know. You know, I am learning how to play golf.
Yep, I heard.
I know the vocabulary. I know the vocabulary. So, to tee up, ok. El tee es el donde se coloca la bola.
Eso
antes
es.
de golpearla. Es como que tú colocas la pelota perfectamente ahí, la pegas con tu palo de golf en la mejor posición, porque luego se te caen los bunkers, que es lo que me pasa a mí. Pero la primera la pegas bien, o sea, porque está bien colocada, ¿vale?
Yep.
Entonces, voy a pedirte pistas, pero ya mi primera idea va porque lo tengas bien colocado, ¿no?
No,
No,
yeah, it's too general. That's far too general. You're in the right track. Okay, it's related to golf. To tee up, what are you doing when you tee the ball up? Why do you tee the ball up? Why do you colocar la bola sobre el soporte? What are you trying to achieve?
Para pegarla de la mejor manera posible.
Good, exactly. Okay.
Sí, es lo que estaba pensando. Algo así como que fuera algo parecido a que te pasan algo tan bien que es como si la tuvieras en el tee, que es el mejor momento para pegarla.
Exactly. So
¿Sí?
well, no.
¿Es eso?
It's a good definition of what to tee up is, but yeah, to tee up, it's something you do for somebody else. Okay, so really the expression should be to tee someone up. To tee someone up. I have an expression from the article that I chose from it was from Marca, I believe, it was from The Guardian. And it was about the Villarreal game. So a ball to the back post found Etienne Capoue, and the Frenchman cleverly crossed instead of shooting, teeing up Dia for a tap-in, with Alison Becker having already committed himself. So Capoue teed up Dia. What does that mean? He teed up Dia, to tee
pues
up.
que le puso el balón perfecto para meter el gol.
Yes, very good. Excellent. Yep, exactly. Poner el balón perfecto. Exactly. To try to score, to tee someone up. So you do it for somebody else. To tee yourself up doesn't, we don't usually say it. You can if you take a good first touch to tee yourself up, but normally we use it as something that you do for somebody else. So exactly.
Wow.
Very good. So what did you say in Spanish? Poner el...
Poner el balón perfecto. O sea, sí,
Exactly.
claro.
Exactly. Fantastic.
We
Well
were talking
done.
about golf right now. I know the vocabulary.
This is the problem that Ruben now is a golfer. So that's it.
Yeah.
And he's learning how to play golf. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I used to lose my balls. Yeah.
you usually
Yeah,
lose them.
under the lake, in the bunkers.
Yeah. The water is the golfer's worst enemy, I would say. Ruben, just be very careful. Remember, used to is solía perder. But if you want to say suelo, you would say I usually.
I usually, yeah.
Usually,
Sure.
exactly. I usually do it. For example, if you want to say suelo correr por la mañana, por las mañanas, you would
I
say.
usually run in the morning.
Very good. But if you wanted to say solía correr.
I used to run in the morning.
Perfect. I used to run in the morning. So just have just be careful about that. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic. Very, very good. Ooh. Okay. Really excellent. Another victory for Ruben. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, very, 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 muy reñido. Muy reñido.
Reñido, I like that. How would you translate that into English?
Sí, very, very, muy igualado. Es algo como muy igualado.
Yeah, very equal. Very equal.
Very equal. Very equal. Very equal.
Very good. Wonderful. Fantastic. Very good. Okay, now we're on to our last section of today's show, and we're going to be talking about some of the crazy things that have been happening in the world of football in recent days. And that means it's time for this week's press review. Okay, Ruben, so I don't really know where to start here because it's just been an absolutely unbelievable week in terms of football. I suppose we should start with what happened on Wednesday, which was this incredible remontada. How do you say it, remontada?
Comeback.
Comeback, very good. Or turnaround is another word that we learned recently. A turnaround, like darse la vuelta is to turn something around, but a turnaround is like una remontada. So a comeback or a turnaround. This incredible turnaround for Manchester City, for Real Madrid, against Manchester City that took place in 2 minutes, I think, or 3 minutes.
Yeah, or in 1 minute.
Or maybe even 1 minute. Yeah, absolutely incredible. It was the 89th minute and the 90th minute or the 91st minute. Absolutely incredible. Well, it gave a newspaper, the Diario AS, they reported that there might actually be a bigger problem for Manchester City here, that there's actually a curse, una maldición, a curse against
a hoodoo.
A hoodoo. Okay, hoodoo. A hoodoo as well. Yeah, there's a hoodoo for Pep Guardiola in the Champions League now. So the title of Diario AS is "The African Curse Preventing Guardiola from Winning the Champions League." So how would we translate this? The African curse?
Pues una maldición africana, preventing, pinta a false friend, pero tiene que ser algo así como impide, ¿no?
Impide, that's it, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
A Guardiola ganar la Champions League.
Exactly. So the problem for Guardiola is that there is a curse, a maldición, impidiendo, ¿no? Impeding or preventing him from winning the Champions League. And it's related apparently to something that the agent, the representante, you say for agent?
Yeah, the rep.
The rep, exactly, the rep of Yaya Toure said to the media the other day, because when Yaya Toure left Manchester City, he wasn't very happy with Guardiola, and his agent said that there were shamans, people kind of like wizards.
Los chamans.
Los chamans, yeah, they're kind of like magos, no? They're kind of like wizards, but in Africa. The shamans would not allow Guardiola to ever win the Champions League because they were angry with how he treated Yaya Toure. So this is one possible theory about why he didn't win. I don't know what you think about that, Ruben, but it does seem like what happened last night was
It's the best explanation I've heard.
Because I couldn't explain it.
Nobody can explain it.
It was an incredible match, wasn't it? It was like because Manchester City estaba dominando. They were dominating the game. They were in complete control of the game. And then in 2 minutes, they lost it.
Yeah, everything changed.
Everything changed. Is that a question of mentality from Madrid? Like, do they have like a
I think
mentality, or
it's a part of mentality, a part of good luck. Because, for example, nobody has been talking about the second goal of Rodrigo, because it's very difficult to do that, because he jumped, start the movement in order to header, and Asensio touched the ball.
He did.
And the normal thing when you are doing that and someone touch the ball, the most common thing is you head the ball with your neck. But in this case, did it perfect in order to score.
I did that once, and I was playing for my school, and I was playing centre midfield, and I ran into the box, and somebody crossed it. It hit another one of my players, and it hit my throat, like my throat. You know where I have the nuez, the Adam's apple. We call it la nuez, the manzana de Adán. So the Adam's apple. It hit me. I couldn't breathe, but I scored. I scored to go with my Adam's apple. But yeah, to do what Rodrigo did, absolutely incredible. A real impact sub in that game, and just an incredible victory for them. And it looks like I don't know who's going to win the final now, because although Madrid have been inferior, I would say, against PSG, against Chelsea, and then again against City, but they won. They won all of the ties.
In my opinion, Liverpool is very, very, very much better.
Much. I would just say much better.
Much better. But Real Madrid is going to beat them.
You think that?
Yeah.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
My problem is that I don't know who to go with.
And Real Madrid is going to be losing the match 4-0, and in the last 2 minutes is going to score 5.
Okay, that's great. Right, I will bet that.
I'm going to bet that.
That exact result. Yeah, absolutely incredible result for Madrid, and just it's part of the reason why we love football is for games like this. You know, I saw somebody tweeting the other night saying, imagine you didn't like football. Imagine you were watching Netflix or reading a book instead of this. And I completely agree. You know, these are fantastic nights for us. Another interesting story, and it's related to Guardiola before this game. And I want to teach this expression, which is to be baffled. To be baffled. BAFFLED. And I'm going to give you the title, and you're going to try and guess what it means. So Pep Guardiola was baffled by guard of honor question before Real Madrid against Manchester City. So guard of honor is the, how would we say that?
Guarda de honor o algo así.
Yeah, it's like when you clap.
Sí, deja el pasillo.
Exactly, el pasillo. So you call it the corridor in Spanish.
El pasillo, el guard of honor. Oh, es muy importante saber eso,
That's it. So I don't know if you remember the other day, there was a
I watched the question, and obviously he was a bit baffled by the question.
What does that mean?
Estar desconcertado, ¿no? Desconcertado.
Not even. No, it just means to be muy confundido. Like very confused, like sorprendido, you know, to be very surprised. Just to be super surprised is to be baffled. Said that question baffled me. And that was the thing. Guardiola didn't look angry. He just looked baffled. He just looked very confused. You know, why would you ask me that? Do you have an opinion on this? Do you think?
Yeah, because in Spain we don't have news, and the press has been talking about the guard of honor. If Atletico Madrid was going to do a guard of honor to Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid said they are not going to do because they don't want to. And someone, a journalist, who has the possibility to ask a lot of interesting things, decided to ask for it.
I know. I think that's my thought. That's my opinion. Is of all the questions you could ask Guardiola, why would you ask him that question? It's a waste of a question. But yeah, there's no reason to give a manager of a foreign team a question like that. Are you going to do a guard of honor with with the Spanish team that won the Spanish league. It makes no sense. And I think it was just to provoke. I think that's what the question was. But yeah, it was quite a funny moment, so I enjoyed it. Another headline. Now, this is more almost kind of politics here. It's about women's football, and there's The Guardian reported that Russia have been thrown out of the women's Euros, the European Championship, and they've been banned from bidding for UEFA tournaments. So basically, there will be no football in Russia for at least for women's football in the future, in the foreseeable future. And they've been thrown out of the women's Euros. So to throw somebody out, or what would you say?
Eso es como ser expulsado, ¿no? Expulsar.
Expulsar, yeah. So to throw out literally is tirar a la basura. Like if you throw, for example,
I threw out.
Yeah, I threw out the banana because it was podrido, it was rotten. So I threw it out, tirar a la basura. But it can also be to like echar a alguien. So, or like expulsar. So you can be thrown out of a bar as well. If you're drunk and you're in a bar, you can be thrown out, okay, or they can throw you out. And it is what's happened with the Russia team, that they've been thrown out of the tournament. Can you give me another way to say echar a alguien? Another word with out?
You can say to sack someone, to fire someone. You can say that.
That's despedir. That's despedir.
Despedir, to
dar una patada. How do you say dar una patada?
To kick him.
To kick out as well. To kick out. Yeah. You can say that they were kicked out of the tournament as well. So yeah, I don't think this is a surprise, to be honest, given the situation with.
Yeah, obviously Russia is not going. Russia is thinking about to change and don't participate in European challenge and change for the ASEAN one.
Really? Yeah.
I read that.
So they want to compete with Asia rather than Europe. I suppose half of Russia is in Asia, but I think most of the population live in Europe.
Yes.
So it's a bit stupid, but you know, the situation is crazy. But I don't think that I don't like UEFA half of the time, but I think that's a perfectly reasonable decision for them to throw Russia out or to kick Russia out of the tournament. Lastly, before we go into our mystery player, I want to talk about this fantastic article in the Guardian newspaper by Sid Lowe when he was writing at the Estadio de la Cerámica. Sonic the Hedgehog rescues Liverpool and ruins Villarreal's big night. First of all, do you know who Sonic the Hedgehog is?
Yeah, but I was Mario Bros supporter.
Okay.
So in the 90s, you can be from Mario Bros or Sonic the Hedgehog. Just you play Sony on Nintendo.
Yeah.
And well, I suppose never lie. Sonic and Mario never die.
No, of course not. No, they're eternal, these guys. But Sonic the Hedgehog, those of you too young to remember, was a video game character on the Sega Mega Drive. He also had a television show. Basically,
and comics, films, whatever.
And basically, Sonic the Hedgehog was a very fast hedgehog. Hedgehogs are not very fast, but Sonic the Hedgehog was a really, really fast hedgehog. And I thought this is a fantastic way to describe Luis Diaz, who reminds me a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog because he's so aggressive. It's just unbelievable. And I thought that's a brilliant apodo, or what's another name for a nickname? Would you say mote?
Mote.
Mm-hmm. It's a brilliant nickname to give a player. And he was a real impact sub the other night as well, in the same way that Rodrigo was an impact sub for Madrid. I just thought Luis Diaz was absolutely incredible. He changed the game, and I'm now that this is the image that I have in my head of Sonic the Hedgehog. Was he called El Erizo?
Sí, bueno, le llamábamos Sonic.
Sonic, but did you say Sonic El Erizo?
Sí, El Erizo. Sonic El Erizo.
That's it. That's fantastic.
Hedgehog es una palabra que ya es complicada en inglés, es imposible, muy difícil.
It's very difficult. I'll give you one of my favorite Spanish words just to finish this section. Sea urchin in Spanish is erizo de mar. Isn't it? Erizo de mar. We say sea urchin, and like urchin is like Oliver Twist, you know, like a poor child in Victorian England. That's what we call it as well. We say a sea urchin, Urchin, but you say a hedgehog of the sea. I love that in Spanish. Languages are very interesting. Remember, we don't have too much time left. Guys listening at home, we're going to quickly finish the program, as we always do, by giving you the clues for next week's mystery player. Okay, so very quickly, give us clue number one. Who is this person?
Although he played as a center midfielder, he started out as a striker.
Very good. So although he played as a center midfielder, he started out as a striker. Empezó jugando de delantero. Fantastic. Number two, he was voted, fue votado. He was voted man of the match in the 2009 Champions League final. So we had a very good game in the 2009 Champions League final. Number three, Rubén.
He took the most important corner in the history of the Spanish national side.
Very good, exactly, fantastic. Yeah, he took the most important corner in the history of the Spanish national side. If you're a Spanish person listening to this program, you should already know who this person is, the most important corner in the history of the side. Number four, Maradona said of this player, every game he plays is a footballing masterclass. En cada partido da cátedra del fútbol. Every game he plays is a footballing masterclass. Masterclass is what we would say for dar cátedra, to give a masterclass. Very good. And number five.
He retired in Qatar.
Very good. He retired in Qatar. I think this is much easier than the...
Yeah, but you can see the photo we are going to share we shared in Twitter.
On Twitter,
I don't know if it's going to help you or not, but it's a good way to check it out.
Yeah, I think Ruben's been very bad with the photo because it doesn't look it's a trampa, it's a trap. So be careful with the photo.
Yeah, you have to look at under the shirt.
You have to look under the shirt. Exactly, you have to look under the shirt. Well, if you think you know the answer based on those 5 clues, remember that you can write to us on Twitter. It's speak_football_, and you can let us know who you think the mystery player is. Thanks to those of you who joined us today. And remember, if you're listening to us on Vaughan Radio, stick around with us here for La Hora Extra with Richard Vaughan, which starts in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us as always, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.